So today I'm taking my Tesla Model 3 back into the service center with a couple of issues I'm having with the Tesla. Now these are issues that have actually been going on for quite some time. The first one is a little kind of creak coming from the front driver's side. I've tried to record it, so take a listen to this. So as you can hear, that creak doesn't sound too good. And that was actually taken after they fixed it the first time. So what happened was, I took it into Tesla with the creak. I was there for maybe a couple of hours and they said, look, we fixed it. It turns out it's a stone caught in the control arm, which I was quite surprised about really, because I thought, how is a stone causing that kind of sound? And I'd read a lot of threads online about similar issues that people were having with this. But anyway, I took their word for it. They seemed like nice guys. Drove it away and it had seemed to fix the issue. The creaking had gone and it was back to how it was when I first purchased the car. But after about 2 weeks of driving it, the issue came back again. So I don't know whether they were, when they were taking it on and off, if they kind of oiled it slightly and it was that got rid of the issue. But that's the main reason I'm taking it in today, to see if they can fix that. The second issue is actually a very creaky interior. So the dashboard, over about 20 degrees, becomes very creaky as I drive. So take a listen to this. So as you can hear, it's not perfect, is it? And it's just one of those sounds which is really annoying because it doesn't happen all the time. To be honest, it hasn't happened today. And I'm kind of a bit worried about that because I'm taking it in and I can't get it to replicate. It seems to happen when the temperature is about 20 degrees. But when it happens, it's really noisy, as you can hear. And I think because the Tesla is so quiet, you really notice it. And I think that's one of the main issues here, is that the Tesla is an amazing car. It's so nice to drive. But when you do get a little squeak or creak, you would never notice this probably in another car. But because you're driving a car which is essentially silent, it sounds pretty loud. But anyway, let's get in the car and let's drive on to Stockport's Tesla service center. Okay, so we're just pulling out from the gym. If you're ever in Worsley, by the way, check out Worsley Old Hall. It's such a really nice kind of Tudor style pub. Really worth a visit, some really good beers there. So what's annoying today is that the car's not actually creaking that much today. It always happens, doesn't it? Whenever you've got a doctor's appointment, a dentist, car appointment, the problem that you have always seems to go away the second you want to take it in and show them what's happening. So I just want to say as well, I'm just using a 360-degree camera, so the audio quality and the video quality isn't quite up to normal standards, but hopefully it's okay for you. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So just whilst we're driving to Stockport, let me tell you about kind of any other issues I've been having with the Tesla. And to be honest, there haven't been any really. I know in some of my videos it may seem like I'm kind of moaning about little things, and it's not because I want to moan. I just want to document any little niggle that I have. This is a 50 grand car, it's not a cheap car, and you do want it to be perfect. But realistically, I haven't had any major problems. You can buy cars where exhausts fall off and the engines fail and everything like that. I haven't had anything like that. It's really just been this creaking issue, which I'm hoping they can resolve. And the annoying thing with that is that I've had to go back 2 or 3 times. A little bit of interior dash creaking. And again, I think it's mainly because the car's so quiet, you really pick up on any slight creak. Now, I've got a couple of friends now who've got Teslas, and they say theirs is perfect. They don't have any creak. So it could be that, I've just got kind of a model that's not been put together quite as perfectly as theirs, because I have been in theirs and theirs are great. And actually, mine right now on this nice smooth motorway is not making any creaks at all. It's more when you're on a slightly sort of bumpy road, or a road that's not been tarmacked too well, or a road like this one I've just come onto. So really they're the only problems. I did have a problem with the paint that you might have seen in another video. That still isn't resolved by Tesla, and to be honest, I think it's one of those things. It did annoy me a little bit. I think it's one of those things though that I'm just going to fix myself. It's like a little blob on the front of the car. Most people wouldn't spot it, but when it's your own car, you tend to notice these things. But I think when I've got a bit more time, I'm just going to repair that issue myself. Other than that, I've done nearly 6,000 miles in the car since March. just checked when this video has been uploaded, and it's been fantastic. We've gone to Cornwall, we've been to Norfolk, we've been to York, we've been to Middlesbrough, we've been to Chichester. We've done lots of road trips, and the car is just so comfortable. So again, I don't want to seem like I'm complaining too much in these videos, but hopefully you understand. You know, I'm not nitpicking at pointless things. These are just issues that I hope would be sorted out. But anyway, on to Tesla. This is Tesla Stockport.
Now your destination is on the right.
Time to pull in and say hello. See if we can get a parking space. So mine will be going in a bit. Space will do me right here. Okay, let's go inside. So they're saying the car could take 3 or 4 hours, so I'm going to sit in the back here of the Tesla showroom. They've got free coffee and free Wi-Fi, so I'm just going to crack on with some work. So I've been working for a couple of hours in Tesla, but it's 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna go and grab some lunch. It looks like the only thing nearby is McDonald's or a KFC. What would you go for? Let me know in the comments below. Big Mac or some KFC chicken. So McDonald's or KFC. McDonald's, KFC. I think I'm gonna go KFC today. So it turns out KFC was closed, you can't actually sit in, so I've gone for McDonald's instead. So that's lunch down, now headed back to Tesla to do a little bit more work. Okay, so it hasn't quite gone to plan. The Model 3 isn't fixed. They said they want to keep hold of the car over the weekend, and they've given me a loan car, a Tesla Model S. I think it's a P100D, I'm not sure. But yeah, I've got this until the bank holiday Monday. They said they couldn't quite find their fault, and they do think it's going to be a new part that's needed. So it looks like it wasn't the stone in the first case. But anyway, I'm now going to drive back and I'll give you a little tour of this Model S. So I've had the Model S now for about 3 days, and I've actually been using it quite a lot. I've driven to York to see my friends from Manchester. I'm now driving back and getting a charge and Instavolt in a Starbucks. So I thought I'd just pull over and kind of give you like a mini review. I might actually film a full review of this car. I know it won't be like a long-term review, but kind of like my opinions of it. But I thought I would just throw it into this video as well, just my opinions of this slightly older Model S. And what I would say, first off, the good points are, it's definitely more solid than the Model 3. It feels much more like a Mercedes or a BMW in terms of just how sturdy everything feels. And I know that sounds weird, but the Model 3 is very, very good, but this just has that extra feeling of premiumness to it. But I'd say that's kind of where it ends in terms of what I like about the car. I don't mean to slam anyone who owns a Model S, but
this age one, it feels very dated, to be honest, compared to a Model 3. It looks like someone's taken an older car from the 90s and then chucked in a couple of screens. I really don't think it looks very modern. There's like a huge gap here in the center console with just nothing there. I mean, the seats are very comfy, actually. I'll give them that. The seats are very comfortable, much more comfortable than the Model 3s. But, you know, on a full charge, this one is the Model S 85. It'll have 200 miles on a full charge. So that's, you know, that's not great. And I noticed when I came to York, it's a 70-mile journey, and I've used over 110 miles for that. So you really couldn't do many miles in this car, which is crazy. You also need the CCS adapter to actually charge the car. So I'm at an Instavolt. There's no Type 2 connector here, so you would have to buy that CCS adapter. And I don't know, I think you might have to pay for a CCS upgrade as well, so you can actually even charge it like that. The charge speeds are quite slow as well. This is a 50 kilowatt charger. It only charges at 30 through this. There's no one next to me. So yeah, I'm now even more happier with my Model 3 purchase. I don't think, if someone said you can have a 50 grand Model 3, or you can have this used Tesla Model S for 50 grand, I would have the Model 3, 100%. 100%. I think it's in some ways a nicer, sportier car to drive. I love the minimalist interior. And when I first got the Model 3, probably you might be the same. The first things you dislike about it are the fact that it doesn't have really good window wipers. It doesn't have buttons and controls. When you get used to that, now having loads of buttons and extra controls seems sort of pointless. If you can do it all on the screen, why not? So yeah, just my views of the Model S. So if you want me to do a kind of mini review, let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to get loads of shots of the car if I can, if it stops raining today. And then it's maybe something we can do if you'd be interested in just knowing maybe the differences between this and the Model 3. So Tesla have just called, and apparently the Model 3 is now ready for collection. So I'm going to head to Stockport and pick it up, and hopefully all of the problems have been fixed. So let's go and find out. Hey, so I've just got out of Tesla, and of course I'm back in the Model 3. So just to give you a little update on what they said they've done. First thing first was the outside squeak. They say that has been fixed, and it was caused by the kind of plastic under tray on the car rubbing against something else on the car. So they have apparently fixed that. At the moment I'm on a super smooth road, so I can't really tell if it's been fixed or not, but I'm going to drive around with the window down and see if that's fixed that issue. The second issue was the kind of creaking dash and creaking door. They said they've added extra padding and some sort of dampening tape and stuff around certain areas to fix that. To be honest, I've just driven around a corner and the door was squeaking again, so I've just nudged it and it seems to be okay, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. One thing that is a little disappointing is I've just noticed, as I was just filming a couple of shots, there's a couple of like black marks on the car that definitely weren't there before. I'm just trying to clean them off with some baby wipes and they haven't come off. So when I get back, I'll give it, you know, a proper clean. Obviously, people have been in the car, so you know it may get a little bit dirtier. So I don't want to kick up a fuss if I can clean it myself. But I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Everything else obviously is the same in the car. So I won't know for sure until I've been driving the car around a little bit. So I'm now going to drive home, maybe just drive it around Stockport a little bit before I leave the area and just test out to see if the squeaks and issues have been fixed. Okay, so I'm back home and I've just done the 9-mile drive from Stockport to Worsley. It's a little bit too early, I think, to say whether the front creak has gone. Last time I took it in and they fixed it, it was about 2 weeks until the issue came back again. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and I'll update you in another video if that one comes back. In terms of the squeaky doors, still there. This one has been fixed. This was like the bigger problem one, and the dash was a big problem. It seems like the dash has been fixed a bit more, and a little creak. Again, a little creak. Passenger side, big creaking now, big creaking. I tried to just hold the camera whilst I was on autopilot just over there so you can hear it. I'll play that now. I don't know if you can hear that very well until I edit the video, but yeah, a bit annoying. I'm going to try and push some things in and creak them together. So not super impressed with that, because it was pretty bad as well. I mean, if they'd have taken it out for a test drive, they would have heard it. So far, not so good. The other issue I've noticed as well is on the door panels here, where you get the little rubber seals, on the passenger side door, there's now like a big gaping gap. Let me show you that. So this one is the driver's side. As you can see, it's pretty flush up here. Now if we look at the passenger side, what do you notice? It's a big hole here, look at that. You kind of get your finger in there now. So I don't know what they've done there, but the rest is kind of stuck in. This now doesn't stick in, which is annoying, very annoying. Okay, Future Mark here. I'm sitting here doing some editing and I thought I would just chip in. It's been a few more days since I've got the car back and I wanted to comment both on how those issues are and the Tesla service in general. So first of all, those issues. So I've got to say, over the last 2 or 3 days, the passenger side door and the dashboard do seem a lot less creaky than they were before. It does seem like they have definitely improved it. Now, it's definitely not perfect. It still creaks on some surfaces. And I think it's because I'm used to a couple of BMWs, a couple of Mercedes, all secondhand used cars. But generally, in my opinion, they were always very sturdy. So maybe these little creaks are just part of the Tesla build quality. And again, they're not terrible. The passenger side door, now that is pretty bad. I did kind of squish it in and sort of press the panels together to see if that would help. And I think it has helped a little bit. It's not something I think that needs urgently doing. It's just one of those frustrating things. And I know some people will be in the comments saying, like, feel lucky you've got a 50 grand Tesla, you know, and I do, and I am very lucky. But it's just those little things for me really annoy me. I don't know why, just those little creaky sounds. So that's that. The creakiness underneath the car, that seems to have gone away so far. So touch wood, that won't come back. Of course, I'll keep you updated if it does. So that's really good. In terms of Tesla service, I just want to comment on that as well, because I think there's two sides. So I was dealing with Tesla Stockport, and I've got to say, the people on the phones, there's a guy called Tom I was speaking to, and he was fantastic, 10 out of 10, you know, really friendly guy. Called me throughout the day to let me know how long it was going to take, what they were doing to it, when I could pick it up. You know, allowed me to have the loan car, no questions asked, and was just super, super friendly. So no problem with the service team that you deal with at all. For me, it's more, I think, the servicing team. And I don't mean to sound horrible if you work at Tesla servicing, but it just seems that, you know, I've taken the issue back a couple of times, and I know they can only do so much and they can't fully road test things, but the creaking door, I mean, I think they would have heard that if they'd have gone out. And of course, the side panel of the door where there's now a hole, really they should be spotting that. If they're kind of putting dampening things in there, the Tesla dash isn't that complicated. You know, there's a few strips of things to look at. And as soon as I turned around, I could see that. Now, I did email Tesla and text them, and they said, look, you know, just next time you're in Stockport, give us a call 30 minutes before and they'll sort it out. So that is good. So I don't want to sound like I'm absolutely slamming Tesla, because to be honest, they're much better than some of the service I had at Mercedes. Like, I didn't have many problems with my Mercedes, but when I did, it wasn't always the best either. Alfa Romeo was absolutely shockingly bad. And, you know, dealing with car garages as we all do, they're not always perfect. And I would definitely say Tesla is up there, but it's just this kind of build quality issues of the Tesla I was worried about. And it just seems that mechanically, you know, in terms of the car actually driving, nothing wrong with it at all. It is just these little kind of small build quality issues with the car. So that's how I wanted to end the video. You know, I was watching it back and I was thinking, man, I moan a lot in this video. And I don't mean to. It's only because I'm documenting this kind of thing and I'm doing it for the YouTube channel that I want it just to be open about my Tesla experience. I think when you go through Tesla groups, you see a lot of Tesla fanboys who, you know, as lovely as they are with helping you with questions, they just won't have a single bad word said. And I'm not saying a bad word, I'm just telling you how it is and how my experience is. So I hope that's helped. If you want to see more videos like this, or if you want to see the road trips I mentioned about, check out the other videos in the playlist. Give it a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then I'll see you in the next video.